welcome to a new video. My name is Prince Meyson. Today we're going to be doing a lighting breakdown from a shoot that I did recently. We're going to go through 4 different light setups. Now the thing about me is whenever I get to the studio to shoot, I like experimenting with different light setups, and if there's something that I like, then I'll keep that and I will use that consistently moving forward. Let's say for a client project or anything that I want to do in the future. But what I typically do, like I said, is just experiment, and what I'm doing right now is showing you guys what the results of those experiments were. So without further ado, let's get straight into this. Now right here in Capture One, you guys can see what the images look like, and I'll just pick this for example and show you guys what this looked like, because I didn't think about this in the first place before I did this, because obviously you would make adjustments in post to get your image to look the way you want it to look, but this is what this looked like, right? And then obviously I adjusted it to look like this. I would I have gotten this in post? I think I would have. Sorry, not in post. Would I have gotten an image that looked similar to this with the line setup that I did? I probably would have, but I'll show you guys what the other ones actually did look like. This is the other one again. This is the before, this is the after. You guys can see that I brought up like a lot of the shadows, but it was just majorly for those looks. For the other looks, it was just normal. So this is before, this is the after. For this one too, this is the before, this is the after. You guys can see that the before, not the straight out of the camera, literally matches what the edited images look like. So straight out of the camera and then edited image, you guys can see it's literally like the same thing. So for some looks, I got it, it was amazing straight out of camera, like these ones right here. For the other ones, this one too, I think this is just straight out of camera. You guys can see it looked great. But for the other look, I'll tell you guys what I would have done differently to get it to look, I would say, closer to what the edited image looks like. So this is the before, this is the after. So let's jump into Photoshop and I'll show you guys the whole light setup. Now, some of these light setups, or these images that I'm using for my light setups, I just took a screenshot from the Osmo Pocket, so it's not going to look perfect. But some I took a picture with my phone, which I'll probably be doing more of that now moving forward, so we can get high quality images that we'll be using for the lighting breakdown. Okay, so as you guys can see, this is me here. I have an 8600 up here. Why is that? Just increase the flow of my brush, my bad. Okay, so I have an 8600 Pro up here, and right here I have your typical 8600. So those are my 2 lights. Now I shoot in a space that is pretty big. It's probably over or just about 1,000 square feet, and we have like a cyc wall here, and the whole studio is white. So when you have a white studio or a white space, it's easy for you to be able to get away with some things, right? And one of those things is bouncing light. So right here, you guys can see my 8600 with a reflector cone on it was just bouncing light up here, like to the ceiling, spreading light everywhere. And the reason why that is important is, first things first, is going to fill some of the shadows on my subject's face, which, you guys can see here. Our key light is coming from right here on the left part of this image, down at my subject face, probably about 6 feet away from my subject, and it's coming from top. So like the whole idea is to emulate sunlight from a particular angle, right? And we have this loop. So if you look at the nose right here, you can see that the setup is a loop, not a butterfly. If it was a butterfly, the light would be almost directly in front of our subject, and we would have this butterfly type shadow underneath her nose. But since it's loop, we have the shadow right here to the right of the image, right? And also you can see the shadows underneath her neck, but because we have this light just hitting our subject straight on, right, we probably would have had a lot more shadows right here on the this part of the image, right? We'll probably have more shadows here, but because we have this other light right here just blasting light everywhere in the studio, it's going to fill up the space and just create like this nice fill light, right? And then we have our key light, just blasting light at our subject. The modifier that we're using are two reflectors. So we have this reflector right here on the AD600, which is just a regular reflector cone you can get for like $20, right? Or maybe more, I don't know, but it's pretty cheap, right? And the one on the AD600 is the reflector that actually comes with the AD600. So for that one, you don't have to buy anything. So basically, that is one of my go-to light setups for just taking hard light headshots. I think it's really cool. I just absolutely love this setup. So if you ever are in the studio and everywhere is just white, then maybe try this. But if for some reason the whole studio is not white, another thing you can do obviously is just blast the light, on the backdrop. You can either use the reflector cone, or sometimes just so you get like soft and even light, I'd advise that you probably just use like a big umbrella to bounce light on the background, and then you light your subject and have like a reflector on the side to bounce light back at your subject. So that's another way to do it. But if you have a studio that's just all white, just bounce the light. Now when it comes to light values, I can't remember, but I typically was shooting at maybe like 1/4 or something like that, or 1/4 power. Now the reason why I don't really care about light values is the distance between my subject and your subject might be different. The space in our studio, the studios might be different. Your subject's skin tone might be different. All these things actually add to why light values do not really matter. At the end of the day, just try out different values till you get what you want. For camera settings, I was shooting with the Canon R5, and which is crazy, I can't remember, but I think I shot with the 100mm, which is my go-to lens. It's 100mm. So it is ISO 1. No, that's not that look. My bad. Let's look for that particular look. It should be somewhere in here. There we go. So ISO 100, 1/60th of a second, f7.1, and 100mm. So that was that's the camera settings for this particular one. And you guys can see the image is pretty sharp, tack sharp actually. Pretty sharp. I absolutely love the Canon 100mm lens, the EF version though. Extremely sharp lens. Okay, great. So let's jump to the second look right here. Let's look for the image for the second look. We're going to get to these ones in a bit. So my bad. This is the second look right here. Where is the image for the second look? Which is crazy that I haven't actually brought that image into this part of the screen. So just give me a minute. Let me look for that image. It is right here. Okay, great. So I'm just going to bring it to this part of the screen. Okay, great. So now to our second look right here. Our second look was pretty similar to the first look in the sense that we have our key light right here, which is the AD600, and it's still the same reflector that I was using, which is the one that comes with the AD600. The major difference now is that I don't want everywhere to be bright. If we go to like our first image here, you guys can see everything is bright, because we have light bouncing around, everything looks nice and bright. With the second one, you guys can see a lot more of the shadows. It looks a lot darker. It's more moody, and the reason why it's like that is because I have two black V flats very close to my subject. And what those two black V flats are doing is it's reducing the amount of light that is bouncing back and hitting our subject. So the only light that you can see in this image obviously still going to be a little bit different, depending on the space and how far away you are from like I'll say the walls, or your studio, your backdrop. I mean, we are using cyc walls here, but how far you are from your backdrop, all these things actually matter. How high your ceiling is in your studio. So, but for this, you typically get around the same results if you do the same thing. We have two V flats just blocking our subject off. So you have this V flat here, this V flat here, and what this is doing is that it's probably just cutting off light, so we don't have light bouncing back to our subjects from this, right? And what that means is that we just have our main light right here, which is this light from the AD600 just hitting our subject, right? Okay, great. So if we come to this image, you guys can see we have our light source. If I zoom into her eyes, you can see our light source is very tiny, and what that does is that it makes the shadows punchier and sharper, right? So we have really sharp shadows, light source coming from up there. So we have I will need to change my brush mode to normal. Okay, great. So now it's normal. That's good. So we have these shadows right here. We have these shadows under her lip. Look at this one under her nose. They are really strong shadows. So this is our second light setup from the look. Pretty simple, very easy to do. Our light was still about 5 to 6 feet away from our subject. That's typically around where I keep my lights. Amazing amazing light setup for headshots if you're looking to do anything that's dark and a little bit moody, right? If you want to see me edit any of these images, let me know. I'll create some editing tutorials with these images. And also, just while we're here, check out my Pro Retouching pack. Links will be in the description below. If you get anything from my store, you're definitely supporting me so I can make more of these videos. So thank you. Digital store has a lot of things there. My free actions and a few paid ones too, and some free presets and a few paid ones. Just check it out. Links will be in the description below. So let's dive right back into this, right? Okay, great. Now there is one look that I absolutely love, and it was the look I was telling you guys about at the beginning, right? I've edited this image, looks great. Like I say, if you guys want to see a video of me retouching this, just let me know. The reason why I like this look and why I would have done differently for this look is I would have brought the light, which is this AD600, a lot closer to my subject. I feel like it was too far, and what that did was that created really hard highlights here that I was not able to recover in post. So next time I'll probably just bring this light a lot closer to my subject and also bring the V flats. Now, what I did with the V flats was I formed a V somewhere around here. So I don't know if you guys can see it. So it's like a V here. So we have light. We're basically using one light in this look. So we have our one light right here, which is the AD 600 Pro. And what that's doing is that it's just lighting our subject from back here, just right behind her. And that's why you guys can see these highlights right here, right? But the light's also going to travel all the way and hit our V flats. And because we have our V flats kind of like bent, just like this, what it'll do is that it'll fill both sides of our subject. But the front of her face, you guys can see right here and here. So we have light coming this way, right? So it's going to fill her hair all the way to the front of her face. And I really like this look. It was probably one of my favorite looks that day. The only thing, like I said, I would have done differently is I would have brought the light a little closer to my subject, and if possible, bring the V flats a little closer to my subjects too. And that way I would not need to, like pull up the shadows a lot in post. Another way you can do this to even make it better for you is use two lights. So instead of having the V flat right here as your I would say your fill light to fill your subject's face and bring out some and like just put some detail in the shadows, right? Another thing you can do is just have like a huge umbrella here. So it's going to create this nice soft light, that will be hitting your subject's face, right? And you have a nice two light setup. So that's another thing you can do. But for me, this was what I went for. I love the images. The only thing that I kind of regret is that I wish I had paid more attention to the highlights, so I'd have had more details to recover from this part of the highlight. But hey, we live, we learn. That's why we're doing this. Okay, great. So what we're going to do right now is jump into our final look, which was a little bit more complicated, right? So where's the final image? Right here. So this is what our final image looks like. Now for this look, we didn't use any flash. It was all continuous lights. Now continuous lights are really, really good right now. I use I always forget the name of this light. I think it's the Mo Richardson. Thank you. That's it. So I use the Mo Richardson light. I think it's about 1K, and that was our key light. So our Mo Richardson light, which is our key light, was just hitting our subject's face. This light is hot, you can't just put it in front of your subject forever, it's really hot, right? So I had this light just right here hitting our subject's face, and you guys can see right here we have our key light just right there on her face, right? it's still the same way, elevated, shooting at an angle down, creating this nice loop image that I absolutely love. You can get loop, you can still use the same thing. If you want it to be a bit more dramatic, if I moved it a little bit more to my left, I'd have gotten like a nice Rembrandt look, but loop was fine. The next thing was we had one of these lights here. So I think this one right here is a GVM. It's a GVM 45. I think it's 45M. I don't even know what it's called, but it's kind of like that 4-foot tube light. It's RGB, so we had it with magenta, which is purple, and that was the light right here. You guys can see on the side right here, right? And it was also spread into the background, so that's the cool thing about it. Now, this light right here was meant to be a hair light, but for some reason it just wasn't powerful enough, because the 1K light from the Bo Richardson was literally just washing everything away, so we barely could see that light. And then, you guys can see this blue round down here on the leg, just somewhere around her body right here. You guys can see the blue light right here, which was the blue light here. And that was this light setup. You should try it out. I think it's really cool. And the reason why it was easy for me to control this light was because this Mo Richardson comes with like a Fresnel in it, so it's easy to like concentrate the beam of light to your subject. Then apart from that Fresnel, it also has bandos, as you guys can see. So I narrowed the light from the bandos, so that light was literally just hitting my subject, right? And it wasn't spreading to the background. So that's another good thing about using the Mo Richardson lights. They're pretty cheap. You can get them for, there are a lot of studios that are trying to sell them because they're really hot lights. They're not LED lights, and you can get them for really cheap. I love the quality of light that comes from it, and I use the shoot all the time. The problem is it gets really hot and it's really bright, so you just can't have it, just directly at your subject's face, for the longest time. Now, let's go over the camera settings for this. For this one, I probably tweaked it a little bit and probably didn't shoot at ISO 100, but let's see. I don't know if I'm bugging. Yeah. So, ISO 125, 500th of a second. Where's the actual light? Then f2.8, which is the lowest aperture for my 100mm lens, and then 100mm. So basically that was the camera settings for this. Now the reason why I shot my shutter speed at 1/500th of a second was because I needed to be able to freeze the frame. Basically with your strobe lights, it's easier for you to freeze motion than it is with continuous light. So any type of motion will probably show. So but 1/500th of a second was pretty good because she was pretty still, right? And they were pretty sharp images, as you guys can see. We got some absolutely dope images from here, by the way. Like I said, if you want to retouch, just check out my pro retouching pack. That's why I used to retouch all these images that you guys can see on your screen. And also had this look right here that I did something a little bit different with, right? For this particular one, it's probably ISO 100, 1/60th of a second, f7.1, which was like the same for the first look, right? Now, this one right here, ISO 100, 1/60th of a second, f7.1, same thing all through. The only time I changed my camera settings was when I was doing the other look right here. But anyway, so that's it. 4 light setups that we ran through. Check it out. Let me know what you guys think about it. Let me know how you guys like it. Let me know if you want to see more lighting breakdowns. Let me know what I can do to make lighting breakdowns better in these videos. Now, I cannot shoot and record full BTS videos. Unfortunately, I can't, so I have to come back here and do the lighting breakdowns for you guys. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see more videos, let me know. And also give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Peace out, guys.